Okay, good morning, everyone. So while we are waiting for the results of the CSIR NET exam, so I'll show you some problems today which you could have solved without using any pen or paper. Okay, so and this is not just something which is specific to this CS paper, but it's a theme which occurs repeatedly in all the all other years. Okay. So yeah, so it turns out that this time in part A there were 8 problems, and in part B there were 9 problems, and in part C there were 6 problems. All of them could be solved just mentally without using any pen or paper. Okay, and so total there were 23 problems, and it turns out that it's 77.5 marks you could have got in just maybe 20 minutes of work. Okay, so let's have a look at, at the problems and the explanation. We will start with part A. There are 8 problems, 16 marks. So this is the first one. It's asking for the maximum and minimum relative fall. Okay. So maximum fall is of course this one, and minimum relative fall, yeah, maybe this, we are not sure, but since it's a relative fall, it has to be divided by the length. So of course that will make this one smallest. So the answer is D and F. Okay. Next, so this is the bucket and water problem. I'm sure, yeah, you know this very well by now. There's a lot of discussion on net about what how it goes. So of course, it's asking for. So there's a bucket and there's a water and which is leaking from the bottom. So it's asking you for the center of mass of the bucket plus the water which is in the bucket. Okay, not what has leaked out. So how does that behave? So initially it's the water and the bucket. The center of mass is somewhere around the center, and when the water flows out, the remaining center of mass of the remaining water it moves down. So overall center of mass of the system will also move down. And finally, you can see when the water has leaked out completely, then the center of mass at that moment is back at the center of bucket. So of course first it has moved down and then it has moved up. Okay, so this is your answer. Okay, so this is third one. It says it's asking you to find the area of this trapezium. So theta is just to divert your attention, and area of trapezium, it's sum of the parallel sides into the distance between them into a factor of half. Okay, so it's a plus b into 2r. The separation is 2r here, and into half. So it's r into a plus b. Okay, this. So here you have to be careful you don't miss out this factor of 1 by 2. Okay. Okay, then it's saying that there is a couple which has 4 sons. Each son has exactly 2 sisters. So how many people total? So couple is 2, and they have 4 sons, and each son has 2 sisters. So that means the couple has 4 sons and 2 daughters. Okay, so overall there's 2 couples plus 4 sons plus 2 daughters. So 2 plus 4 plus 2, that is 8. This one. Okay. So next, so there is a quarter circle. There is a rectangle inside it, and the area of shaded is 24. The shaded part, and PQ is 6. So one of the sides of this rectangle is 6. So now it's asking you to find the area of this quarter circle. So of course this is 6. The area of this is 24. So area of the full rectangle is 48. One of the side is 6. So other side will be 6. 8. Okay, so because 6 into 8 is 48. So this is 6, this is 8. You can find the radius of the circle immediately. So it's square root of 6 square plus 8 square. So the square root of 36 and 64, so that's square root of 100, and that's 10. So area of the quarter circle is 1/4 of pi r square. So 1/4 of pi into 10 square. So that's 1/4 of 100 pi. So that's this 25 pi. Okay, in this one you basically have to basically just have to notice that the total amount is the product of these three columns. So if you take 20 of these, the total amount will be 20 into 1 into 0.25, so that's 10 lakhs. Sorry, it's 20 into 1 into 1/4, so that's 5 lakhs. So in 5 lakhs you can buy 20, and here the total cost is 10 into 2 into 1 by 2, so it's 10 lakhs here. So you can buy 5 of those in 10 lakh rupees. So you can in 10 lakh you can buy 20 of these and 5 of these, so that will make it 25. That's the maximum. Yeah. And this one is asking which graph in which graph the x has a higher acceleration than y. So for these two are linear. So if you take a double derivative of d square x and dt square, so basically, so that will be 0 with these two. Okay, so acceleration of these two are same and it's equal to 0. So in this one you just have to figure out which one the x has a more steeper curve than y. So of course here it seems that y is steeper than x, so what remains is this. So maybe x is, I mean, it's not very obvious, but there are no options left. So x probably is steeper than y here, so we will go with this option. Okay. And this is also very simple. It says the supply of food is reducing at a constant rate. So it's basically going down in a straight line. So at some point it will become 0. Then it says what happens to the long-term trend of the population. So when the food becomes 0, the population cannot survive, so it has to die out. So this option 1 is right. Okay. So now we go to part B. In part B, there are 9 problems, again, which really does not require any calculations. So let's have a look. So in this one, this is again a very simple problem. You don't have to solve any Schrodinger equation or anything like that. So it's basically asking for the ground state energy of these three potentials, how they are related. So basically, for a free particle, you know that the energy can go lowest, and all these bound states will have a higher energy. So here you just have to kind of see that from a free state, it has become slightly bound, and then it has become slightly more bound because one of the potential has gone to infinity, and then it becomes like even more bound when two of the potential goes to infinity. So energy will kind of increase, yeah, because in the bound state the energy is more, in free state is less. And now it's from free state it's going like more and more bound. So the energy here will be less, then it will be more here, it will be more here. So basically option 1 is right. Okay. Yeah, so you can see how easy this problem was. So this is again next one. You just have to make out k here. What is k? K is 2y plus 3j, and what you have to kind of know that k dot e, if you do, that will be 0. So k dot e naught is 0. So which one is it? It's 2y plus 3j. So of course one of them will be negative. So you can just check with these two, and it turns out that if you do 2 into 1 and 3 into minus 2 by 3, so that will be 2 minus 2. So that will be 0. So this option is right. Next one, it's a LCR circuit, and the current depends only on R, not on L and C. So what is omega? So omega C will be equal to, I mean, XC will be equal to XL. So that means omega C is equal to, or omega L equal to 1 by omega C. And basically from there you get just this. It's a very high school level thing here. A very simple problem, very straightforward. Nothing much happening here. So, and this one, it says there are two double slit experiment with two slits equal width, and the pattern looks like this. So here you can see the finer lines are basically the interference pattern, and the bigger envelope is the diffraction pattern. So then it's saying this the slit is doubled and width of each slit is halved. So when slit is doubled, the interference pattern will decrease, right? So it will become more fine. So it's option 1 or option 2. You remember that formula. So fringe width is lambda capital D by small d, where small d is basically the slit width. So when you increase the slit width, the fringe width will decrease. And then it's saying the width of each slit is halved, so that means the diffraction will become broader. Yeah, so this envelope basically becomes broader, so this option 2 is right. Okay, so and this one again very easy. So this you just, if you are confused with this form, you just take this one forward, this one backward, this will become plus, so this is ddt of u cross v equal to 0. That's what it is. That means u cross v is a constant. And then it says AT is the area of parallelogram formed by U and V. So A is basically U cross V, which is a constant. So that means A is a constant. And N is the unit normal, okay, to this plane. So that's basically N is A divided by its magnitude. But since A is constant, its magnitude is constant, N is also constant. So both A and N are constant. So this option 4 is right. Okay. Next. So it's asking you which material will make a more sensitive sensor. So from this you can see in this one it's steepest. If you change the temperature even a little bit, the reading will change a lot. Okay, so this is the most suitable one. And in others, of course, it's more flattish. So if you change the temperature a bit, the reading won't change. So from a sensor perspective, which will go with option C. And this one again, very easy problem. There's a spinning table and all that, and from that you put a ball, and how will the velocity of ball be after you put it? But what you have to see is that it's frictionless. That means ball will just stay there. Only friction can make it move. So this is just 0. And here again, basically, it's asking you to calculate this integral. And z, you have to see that it's actually inside the loop. So I mean, option is obviously C, because in the answer there is a factor of 2 pi, and there's no way that 2 pi will be cancelled by the residue, and the residue is also non-zero, so this is also out. So only just this looks to be right, and yeah, so because the factor of pi has to be there in the numerator. So only this is suitable. So we can just straight away go for this without any calculation. Okay. So that was part B. So in part C also there are 6 problems we can just look at and solve. So let's have a look at those. So this is first one. Just by looking at this options, I can make out that these 3 are not the solutions. So by elimination, this one has to be it. And how I did it, maybe I'll just skip this one here. I mean, if you are my student, you'll probably know it, and I'll teach to you. But here, okay, for timing, maybe you should just make a guess yourself why only this is suitable and why not others. Okay, so next one, there's a particle which is moving this potential. It starts from E, and it's basically oscillates from this point to this point, and it's asking you what the phase space will look like. So of course it starts from here, then the momentum increases, then it decreases a bit, then it increases more, and then it goes to 0. So it's basically this one. So momentum decreases a bit, then it goes even more, then it goes to 0, and then of course it will go back. So this one. So this option 1 is right. Okay. And in this one, so there is a pendulum which makes small oscillations. So it says tau theta d theta is the time that is spent between theta and d theta. And so what is the graph of tau theta? So at the extreme of the pendulum, the speed is 0. So the time that is spent is infinite. So only these 2 graphs are suitable. You can omit these 2. And from here, which is right? So here this one is saying that it spends 0 time at the mean position. Yeah, but this can happen only when the velocity at the mean is infinite. So this is of course not so. In the mean position, the velocity is a finite value, so that will shift it a little bit up. So this option is the right one, but this is a very good problem. I liked it. And this is again a very easy one. So it says there's a spherical shape. How will the radius scale with surface tension? So the surface area goes is proportional to the surface tension, and that's the only thing you have to know. So r square is proportional to sigma. So r will be proportional to root of sigma. Okay. So this is the green function, and again, if you are my student, you can just look at it and you can just say what the option is. Option is option 3. Okay, but I mean here I can tell you that this option 1 and 2 does not satisfy this. So this can be eliminated. Anyway, so this also I'll just not explain it here, and I'll just keep it for my paid students. Sorry about that. So let's go to the next one. So there it's basically it has given a plot of this curve for different temperatures, and it's saying if the two curves coincide with when I into nu to the power a is plotted against nu to the power b by t. So and what is the value of a and b? So here you can see it's nu by t occurs here, and here I occurs, but there is a nu square and nu. So if you take I by nu cube and you plot it by nu by t, everything else will be a constant, so the graph will be a constant. That means all the curves will coincide. Okay, so you have to take this factor here, so b will be 1. And from here, you take nu cube this side, so a will be minus 3. Yeah, so the values of a will be minus 3 and b will be 1. This one, so this was it. You can see it was very easy. 77.5 marks. That would have, that would take probably 20 minutes, maybe, or maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. Of course, in the exam hall, the mindset is different, and but with and it's different from I solve it at my homework. Or my residence, the pressure is less and all that. But of course, but even with all that, if you show some common sense, some presence of mind, it's very easy to get score high marks in a short amount of time. And if you could have done that, would have left you with a lot of time for other problems that would have boosted your confidence and everything. Also, I will just make a part 2. So part 2 will also have this kind of problems, but you will have to do some small calculation, very, very small. You will have to use a little bit of pen and paper. So that I'll put it. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just stop here. And I also have a course for net. If you're interested, you can write to me. I'll show you all the tricks that I mentioned here. You'll learn more. And that's what I have for now. So I hope. Yeah, I hope, wish you all the best for your results. I think it will be out anytime. Okay, so thanks for now, and bye bye.